But once it get close to that time, you know what I mean, it's time to go to work, you know? And when we go to work, y'all know what comes after that.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
This is a fight that I've been kind of waiting for my entire life. I didn't have to make this fight. This is a fight I could have just stayed at 135 pounds, sat comfortable at 35. I don't feel like no fighter at 135 can beat me. I made this fight happen because I know Teo is one of the guys at 140.
Terence Crawford appeared to lose his composure during the press conference. Getting into a heated exchange with Teofimo Lopez Sr., the situation escalated quickly, and Crawford didn't hold back, delivering a strong warning that Shakur could seriously damage his son once they step inside the ring.
Every last one of them, stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. spoke with confidence, insisting that his team has carefully analyzed Shakur's game. According to him, they've broken down the footage and believe they spotted multiple weaknesses they plan to exploit in Stevenson's style.
We want a competitive fight. We do this for the fans, you know. Ever since my son started this, you know, I told him, you know, this is...
Terence Crawford responded with complete confidence, warning them not to underestimate Shakur. He explained that Stevenson is incredibly tough to defeat, pointing to his high-level skills, sharp ring IQ, steady composure, and the way he controls fights with ease.
It's a work of art. You know, the sky is the limit with Shakur. You know, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, you know, do whatever he wants in the ring. You know, and it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, you know, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has. You know, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division. You know, and be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. pushed back, saying their game plan is built around keeping Shakur uncomfortable from the opening bell. He predicted Stevenson would end up falling the same way Lomachenko and other past opponents did, confident that his son will handle business before the night is over.
It'll be a great fight. I want everybody to come and see it. If you can't, you know, just watch it on TV.
You've had to come up with some good game plans over the years to beat some great fighters, Lomachenko, Taylor, among them. How difficult is this man, Shakur Stevenson, to prepare for?
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
During the press conference, Shakur's emotions started to rise as he directly confronted Teofimo Sr., making it clear that a father can't step into a ring for his son. He told him straight up that all the talking won't matter when it's time to fight, because only the fighters themselves have to handle what happens between the ropes.
Oh man, you out of your mind.
Okay.
My son fought without no air. My son fought without no air against Cambosis.
You can't fight for your
balls.
son. You can't fight
You
for
gonna
your
tell
son.
me, man? Come on.
You can't fight for your son.
I bet you gonna quit.
Terence Crawford has been putting in steady work alongside Shakur Stevenson, training side by side as they fine-tune techniques, develop strategy, and push through intense sessions in preparation for the upcoming showdown. Their camps have been closely connected, focused on sharpening every detail ahead of fight night.
I almost missed that one. There it go. 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 God damn. There it go, bro. He trying to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He trying to... Man, I performed. You know that? I told y'all what I was going to do. I was going to come out here and beat his ass every game.
And look, he's thinking about saying, let's play again.
Shakur stays completely locked in on his goal of becoming a champion, sticking closely to his strategy, polishing every aspect of his game, and maintaining strict discipline to make sure he steps into the ring at his very best.
Went up to 140, I said, let me get the Ring Magazine champion. Let's fight that guy. Let's fight the guy that's the guy. All that more pressure stuff don't mean nothing. As long as I'm like locked in and I'm focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, nothing else matters around me. That 4-weight world champion, it means everything to me. That's me separating myself. A lot of these guys that they claim is the guys nowadays, none of them can say that they are a 4-weight world champion. Honestly, for a minute before Devin went and did it, none of them could say they was really 3-weight world champion. So now for me to go to the 4th and the next level is a different type of thing. And a lot of people got to respect me, because at the end of the day, if they don't respect me, they don't got no choice.
Analyst Henry pointed out a noticeable flaw that showed up during Teofimo Lopez's fight with George Kambosos Jr. He explained that Lopez often carries his lead hand low, which can help him set up jabs and disrupt his opponent's rhythm. However, that same habit becomes risky when he starts pressing forward too aggressively. Kambosos took advantage of it, timing him perfectly and landing sharp counterpunches as Lopez came in.
Teofimo Lopez has a bit of an issue. It's something that it's not always an issue, but it's something that certain fighters can turn into a weakness for him, and it's something that is a weakness for him when he fights the way he did in this fight. And that is the low lead hand that he has. It's great when you are trying to set things up. It can be really good when you're jabbing because it's out of your opponent's eye line very often. They can't see it coming. But when you're being this aggressive, it simply does not work, in my opinion. And there were multiple times in this fight where George Kambosos just let Teo come to him and caught him with powerful, aggressive counter punches. I'd say that Kambosos found his range and his timing very, very quickly in this fight, and I'm just going to show you a couple of moments here in round 1 that really stood out to me where Teofimo Lopez was being exceptionally aggressive. So you can see with this lead hook here that George Kambosos lands as a counterpunch. It's a very, very key shot for anyone who is facing Teofimo Lopez, and I'm just going to break it down for you now. So the thing about Teofimo Lopez is, because he can be very lumpy.
Henry also pointed to a crucial sequence early in the fight that exposed the risk in Lopez's approach. In the opening round, a perfectly timed counter hook landed clean, highlighting how vulnerable Lopez becomes when he lunges forward. He tends to step heavy onto his lead foot before sliding in with a pendulum motion, which spreads his stance and drops his hands. Even though he keeps his chin tucked, that posture throws off his balance and leaves openings. Kambosos recognized it immediately, snapping off a sharp check hook, slipping away, and later drilling a huge overhand right that rocked Lopez and sent his corner into panic.
Never expect someone to really attack you from that range in boxing, but he does. And the thing about the way he does this is there's usually a bit of a tell. So watch here. What he does is he takes a step first to load that front foot, which then permits the pendulum step. It allows him to shuffle in, and I'll show you what I mean by that as you're watching here. Let me just undo that. 2 small arrows is what I'm looking for. So watch here. Leans on that front foot, and then he goes with the pendulum. Back foot in, lead foot forward, and he lands in this position here. Now you can see the problem with this position here is that his balance is going to be hard to get because his feet are so wide and his hands are low. So whilst his chin is tucked in, that's good. His hands are low. And as he throws, Kambosos has that lead hand ready and waiting. Watch what happens here. He quickly leans back, he fires that check left hook, and he gets out. Beautiful work. Now, the other moment that we need to see from this one is probably the most dramatic moment of his career, where he landed an absolutely huge counter overhand right. And it definitely shocked Teofimo Lopez. It was what caused all the panic in the corner. I don't think he thought he could get.
Regis Prograis believes Shakur Stevenson holds both a psychological and technical edge over Teofimo Lopez. While he respects Lopez's natural athletic ability, he stresses that raw talent by itself isn't enough when you're competing at the highest level. In his view, Lopez can be inconsistent, showing moments of brilliance but struggling to stay sharp and focused for an entire fight. Stevenson, on the other hand, enters every matchup with a structured game plan, steady patience, and strict discipline, which makes him extremely hard to outthink or outbox. Prograis also points to Shakur's mental toughness, noting how calm he remains under pressure and how quickly he adjusts to whatever his opponent brings. He rarely forces mistakes or takes unnecessary chances. Lopez, by comparison, can let frustration creep in or become overly aggressive, creating openings for counters. For Prograis, that difference in composure, ring awareness, and technical precision gives Stevenson the upper hand, suggesting that even though Lopez has the physical tools, Shakur's fight IQ and mindset could ultimately decide the fight.
Mo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it will be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably, yeah. I think he wins it comfortably. I think, Shakur, I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. Now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles. He does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does struggle. And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. It might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then
Michael Conlon describes the showdown between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as one of the most thrilling matchups in boxing today. On paper, it's a battle between two elite fighters, each bringing distinct strengths to the ring. Conlon notes that both athletes have showcased top-level skill, precise technique, and the ability to perform under intense pressure, making this fight especially captivating for fans and analysts alike. He highlights that while Stevenson is celebrated for his tactical intelligence and adaptability, Lopez counters with explosive power and exceptional athleticism, creating a striking contrast in styles. Conlon believes this mix sets the stage for a highly competitive and unpredictable fight, one that will test both fighters' strategy, skill, and resilience, making it a must-watch for boxing fans around the world.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. Like, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not going to say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems. What is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on his card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. If it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager, Jay Prince, yep.
Okay. And does that work for you? Do you feel like this could be something that could just work for you for the time being?
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.